Hi, YouTube. I have spent a lot of time playing video games. I've also spent a lot of time wasting time on the internet. So, which is better? You may notice I said wasting time on the internet. Now, immediately that puts a negative feel to it, and I apologize for that. I really shouldn't have said that. I should have said browsing the internet. So, how does that stack up against video games? Well, for starters, video games they tend to stimulate the part of us that's more reflexive and carnal. They get that lizard brain. They put you in the action. They really do. Studies have found that the brain it can't really differentiate between reality and what's happening in the game. Parts of it get tricked into thinking what's going on in the game is happening to you. That's how you relate to it. That's why art is something we enjoy, because our brain relates ourselves to it, puts us into it with it. So, given that being given, how does that translate in this argument, browsing versus time on video games? Well, I feel that because of this, it's a more opening experience for us. It depends on how you're browsing the internet, of course, and we'll go into that. But I do think that video games tend to broaden your horizons a little bit when it comes to experience as a person. You can play Skyrim at one point. You can slay a dragon, but you can then go on Metal Gear Solid and infiltrate an enemy base. So very wide range of activity in there. And I also think that the parts of us that enjoy movies, same general idea, they also get stimulated by video games. It gets that reflexive side of us as well as that artistic side now. It used to be mostly reflexive, but as the industry has grown, it now encompasses quite a bit more than that. And it's become what I believe to be a true art form, no matter what those art snobs say. But I've been a lifelong gamer, so what the fuck do I know? So, all in all, video games, they stimulate the reflexive side and the carnal side and the reflexive side and part of us that appreciates a good story. Now, the internet, it's quite a bit different. It comes at us through a screen and it kind of acts as escapism, but other than that, that's where the similarities end, which is weird, because video games and the internet are very, very linked together these days. I mean, video games channel themselves through the internet. If you ever go online in video games, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And how does that play into things? Again, we'll go into that. The internet. This is such a subjective thing. It's such a person-by-person basis. Some people use it just to waste their lives. Some people use it to learn and grow. I've used it for both. I've spent plenty of time on both of those different types of time wasting, and I think that definitely if you're going to use it to learn and grow, it's a better use of your time for sure. But I think that wasting your time on it becomes an addiction, and it becomes something that's difficult to escape. And a lot of people do it, and I could also bring into this the poison that can be social media. Social media can be a good thing. I've used it as a good thing. It can also be a bad thing. If you ever spend time on Facebook, you probably understand both sides of that coin, as I do. You can see people hating each other on there. You can burn yourself out on anger just viewing the profiles of people you don't like. But you can also use it to communicate with people you haven't seen in years. You can use it to hook back up with friends. It can be great and bad. The internet I think, is more diverse than video games in that sense. But I think that more often than not, people just waste their time on it. And I also think that they express the worst sides of themselves quite often. Go on 4chan, go on YouTube. YouTube has the worst community ever. The comments on YouTube, they're just diarrhea. 4chan, at least the theme is to be mean, but YouTube just sucks. However, I also recognize the fact that it can be used as a great tool. I've spent so much time on both of these things. I know their ins and outs like the back of my hand. So, how does online video gaming tie into the equation? Well, that can also go both ways. It's bi when it comes to morality. I've played a lot of online video games. I've seen a lot of assholes on there, but I've also had some really good times with friends. Like I said, it goes either way with it. I think that more often than not, it's a good time. 75% of the time, it's okay. 25% of the time, you'll get something really shitty out of the deal. My generator just turned on. I think I'm going to wrap this up. How does it stack up in the end? I think that video games just overall tend to be a little bit more, they tend to be used more positively than the internet does, simply because they have that basis of stimulating our minds in a relatable way, and also they have been proven to help treat depression and anxiety. So I think they have that kind of basis of being good. The internet, I think it's good, but it's very subjectively good. It's in such a state of flux. There's no real consistency there to base an opinion off of. The only thing I have is what I've seen, and I've seen it used for quite a bit of shit, but also quite a bit of good stuff. So I'm going to say video games, largely because of that basis of good stuff. If you disagree with me, feel free to tell me. You know, who says I'm right? No one. I don't even know if I'm right. No confidence. Anyway, if you like this video, if you like the topic, just feel free to give your opinion in the comments. Comment, like, subscribe if you're nice to me. Thank you. I just, bored on an afternoon. Want to get this out there. Anyway, have a good day. Thanks.